I had to make that fade out on OBS as I was recording it through OBS on. So I had that intro when I was doing the clip first. Then I would take the desktop audio and just slowly move it down as it got further along. So I got the audio to fade down.
It's a manual, nice.
Yeah, old school. And we are back with another Dragon Con episode of the Origin of the Maker podcast with my buddy DapperWay Cosplay.
How's it going?
How's it going?
Oh, it's 2 days of nonstop fun and yelling at the top of my lungs. So, wouldn't trade it for the world.
If I went and bought some insoles today, I should have done that before I left.
Yeah, you should have packed those.
I probably should have, but you know what? It happens.
Yeah.
Now, I was like last night, my feet were screaming, and I just wanted to lay down. Then my room became the party room.
No.
And we didn't go to bed till like 6.
You just end up standing around your room more because you never find a seat.
No, I was sitting on my bed.
Oh, yeah?
And everybody else was sitting on my bed. And everywhere else.
Say, at least you're off your feet. I mean, most of the parties I've been to, it's hard to even find a lap to sit in, much less an actual chair or a bed.
Yeah. Luckily, it was just like everybody sleeps in the room, like 3 other people from the other room.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Me and Dapper are moderators of the Prop Tarts, the Punished Prop, on the Facebooks. We figured we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about all things props and costumings and maybe some other stuff, random bullshit. If you do listen to this podcast, you know that there is no structure, and it's just free-form conversation.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But you made this really badass costume for Dragon Con.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been getting some good response with Airman, and that's kind of what I was going for, Some people just kind of do it for fun. This year, I wanted to do something breakout. I wanted people to see what I could do, and thus far, it's been a pretty good response.
Yeah, I saw the helmet and the staff. I didn't see the full costume, but from what I saw, it looked badass.
I say it's getting a couple more debuts. Thankfully, I've had some really good people behind me this year. I'll be doing like a couple of events with Dragon Con. Like one of them is a Villain Vogue fashion show. Basically, you get a bunch of villains from a whole bunch of different genres or whatnot, and get them to walk the catwalk. Kind of like fashion show style. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything super elaborate this year, although I don't do super elaborate costumes.
I love super elaborate. It just it keeps you intensely focused and at the same time drives you insane. It's a trip.
The last year is my first year at Dragon Con, and I brought my Ranger armor from Fallout New Vegas, and that was all leather.
In downtown Atlanta in the summer. Bravo.
Yeah.
That's a freshman kick out in Dragon Con. Very good.
Yeah, I was if you follow me on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, which I'm pretty sure you do if you're listening to this podcast, you'll know that my leather armor was hand cut, hand punched, hand stitched with double and triple stitches.
And so you weren't wrecking that other than sweating it to death.
Yeah, I only lasted maybe like 3 hours in it because I wore it to the Prop Tarts meetup.
Yep.
And had my helmet, and the helmet was all fiberglass I had a thin cast helmet on top of the mask and tail portion of the helmet. So I was like, yeah, this is not happening.
Yeah, I say. Luckily, the helmet that I'm wearing this year, I left it open, so there's no neck seal or anything like that. But I've got a pair of fans that are blowing up into the helmet itself. Thankfully, keeps the air cycling in there. All I can hear is fans, but it doesn't matter because I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I'm gonna be molding and casting my Ranger helmet or the mask and tail portion because the fiberglass is quite heavy. I mean, I know the cast resin is going to be heavy, but I know it's going to be more durable.
Yeah.
Because, with fiberglass and resin, it's got Bondo on it. And
it
starts to chip after a while, so I'm about to do some repair work and plan out the mold. Then I have to recast the helmet section because the one I had started cracking at my last photo shoot I did at PCA a couple months ago. And as I was loading all my stuff into the room, it fell off the fucking thing we're using and helmet first onto the floor. Luckily, it hit at a good spot, so it didn't burst into a million pieces. But
it's good.
Hitting the floor like that made that crack get bigger.
Oh no!
And then when I was in the shoot, it was we were at an abandoned school, and it was 95 degrees outside. And the magnets I had epoxied in to keep it together like as I was having it on my head, they came apart.
Oh no.
But like in the back part of my armor, I have like a fan system that I built with a mascot fan going up tubes to the helmet to keep air flowing.
Yeah.
And like even that wasn't helping.
Oh yeah.
So I took the helmet off, I put it down. I was like, okay, we'll have the static for some shots. I'll just throw my glasses on and hold my guns. But I had the fan going. I had the fan going up to the tube that connects to the mask, and I had that just stuck into my balaclava.
Oh yeah.
Like on my neck. It was like air right here.
Yeah. I say, luckily enough with my helmet this year is that like I said, without the neck seal, at least underneath inside the actual chest piece, Warhammer 40k stuff is always larger than life. And even at the human scale that I'm doing this year, it's larger than life. So the neck seal, the neck armor, gives me just enough room for like one of those wraparound. You might have seen people running around with them this year. Those like wraparound 2 fans that you can angle however you want from like Wish. Yeah, they're like rechargeable battery. They connect via micro USB, and it lasted me all day yesterday.
I will have to get me one of those because that sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah, they are well worth the investment, and even better, you can, like I said, they're literally in my chest armor, just hiding right here. So they, if I need it directly on my face, I can just kind of get in there and tweak them up a bit. If I need more like airflow through the chest armor, I can turn them down. It's actually a really, really good investment.
Yeah, I'll have to find me with some of those because my leather armor had this little thing that comes up, and I could probably have something right there.
Yeah,
but with that. But I have this like big canister on the side of my helmet. I have a small hole right there. I could stuck a fan right in there because there's a hole in the canister. Because I bought a gas mask, a big Russian gas mask filter.
Right. Yeah.
That has like all the carbon pellets in it. It was like I was slowly trying to cut it apart, and as soon as I got the last thing down, it slipped out of my hands, fell on the floor. It came apart in the 2 pieces I was cutting it into. But then my shop floor was covered in carbon. They're still on there somewhere, probably underneath one of my benches or underneath one of my toolboxes.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be pulling probably here in the next month or so. I'm gonna be pulling everything out of my shop, doing another deep clean. Yeah. Because I do that once every 6 months or so.
I will be doing that involuntarily because, somewhat voluntarily. We're actually getting a new house, and new house means new garage shop, and so I get to go through the glorious process of building an entire new shop here in the next couple months. So I know that pain very well.
Yeah, I'm hopefully probably the next year or so probably gonna be trying to get a new house with a detached garage, so I can go in, gut it, lay floor decking off the ground, then insulate it, run like HVAC tubes through the whole thing. Because I don't know if you remember, it was about 2 or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago on the Prop Tarts page, this guy redid his shop. He had an HVAC system. It ran inside of his shop walls with little levers you can pull up, which open up the hole that you can plug the hose to that whatever machine he was using. And I saw that. I was like, this is ingenious. Yeah. I actually will steal this idea one day when I get time to make a new shop. Because right now, I'm like, my shop, to walk into my garage, I got it split. And it's like, I got tables, I got benches, and I got like one long LED lamp light, and I got my paint booth with an LED lamp light. And then my streaming bench, which I need better lighting for. But it's like, I need like 3 more of those really long LED, bright white LED lamps, so I can have like pure white light, because like I have a mix of yellow and white light. It's really bad for painting. Which it's working, and it's not that big of a deal for right now,
but eventually you're gonna want that nice cool light so you can get warm, kind of mess that stuff up a bit.
So when I get a new shop and I do all this work, put in like HVAC system all the way around the walls, full electricity outlets all around the walls, then insulate it, drywall it, or put decking up on the walls, and just have it all nice and contained, and have like 4 or 5 LED like lamps on the ceiling. Then maybe invest some money in some solar panels so that my light bill doesn't go up too much.
Right, yeah.
Even though LED lighting actually costs less to run.
Yeah, but I mean, running it, especially if you're trying to run them constantly, you're trying to do it as an actual as a business, you know, it's something that you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your investment. And, you know, if you're running a lot of time in your shop, which we all end up doing because we...
Yeah, I haven't spent any time in my shop in the past 4 months. I've been working in my bedroom because my shop is a fucking mess.
No, I get that, yeah. I say,
But luckily, I've only been doing, like, leather working and some small foam work, so it's like I set up a table in there, just did it all in there, just been cleaning it up. Because, like, in my room, I got my desk set up, because when I would do stream gaming on the PlayStation through Twitch, I got my desk set up for that, and then like directly to my left by like 4 or 5 feet, I got my 3D printer area set up. I got my Ender 3 running. Yeah, which I've got to do some maintenance on that because I've been getting prints that when it finishes the top layer, I've been getting separation in the filament, and also like completely like missing it all. So I gotta like, I think it's like a bed leveling issue, but I'm also getting warping issues on the bottom.
Oh, that's not good.
So I gotta do some troubleshooting there because I gotta get back with it. But I'm supposed to be doing some Fallout guns for a Fallout movie.
Right.
Doing Maria and a Ranger Sequoia, which they wanted this Ranger Sequoia to articulate. So I'm probably gonna be like, I can still print out a standard prop if you want, but here's an alternative that I use for my shoot because I have a 1857 French Pieta Confederate naval black powder revolver. Wow. It's like got a really nice long barrel. Right. It looks pretty.
It's got a nice profile to it.
Yeah. It's I think it's around the same gun that the actor used in Nuka Break.
Oh, nice.
For the Ranger there. Which is like, that works perfectly because it's got that nice Western aesthetic.
Yeah. Right, yeah, they definitely pull with yeah.
Shit, keep coughing.
Yeah. I mean, a couple days into Dragon Con, if you're not, at least a little throat sore, you're not doing it right.
Alcohol I've been drinking.
Yeah,
I think that should kill anything that coughs up.
Oh, kill nothing. It's just nobody talks this much in their life ever.
Yeah.
It's like this, unless you're in like on phone customer support and you're talking 24/7 to people, like the yelling that happens on like the Marriott or Hyatt floor is just...
You're like, oh, hey, man, it's you again.
Or even being 2 feet away because you can't hear the other person talk.
Yeah, or I had to talk really loud with like a super pronounced voice because everybody can't hear anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Even that put my marker up at the red.
I see that, yeah.
Just pronouncing my voice a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's been... I need a new shop. I want to like legit set up a good, solid shop because like so I can have a spot, because right now I got a spot in my main workbench is for streaming. Directly next to that is my jeweler's bench, so when I want to do some wax carving or something, it's there.
Yep.
Then I got like next wall is like I got my paint booth. It's got like basically like a downdraft table, and then I got a little cove with some shelves and tables all around, and I got my tools and stuff on, then 2 spare tables. Yeah.
I basically had to take over kind of like an L thing. I got a pair of benches that I built last year, actually right after Dragon Con. It was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to focus down, we're going to get this done. So I made some really nice benches that were one part for streaming, one part for just, building. And that was kind of followed in for a full dust system entirely across. So I had my bandsaw there, had my belt sander, worked really nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, might as well throw in another vent, so we threw in one that was just kind of standalone for dremeling, so it just takes all that dust right in.
Yeah.
And then I put the actual spray booth, which I had also built just about the same time. Just got that vented. It's never build a spray booth if you don't intend to somehow vent it right then and there. It doesn't help. All it does is going to catch over spray.
Yeah, I guess like mine's basically a downdraft table, so I take some Scotch Brite pad and put them over the holes because I do mainly airbrushing.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. I try to do all my spray painting outside if I can, if it's not like cold. But
I say mine was actually because being in Florida, the humidity is always just something that I'm fighting 24/7. I mean, it can be even really nice cold winter weather for us, which like 50s, 60s, and sometimes we still have to worry about the humidity.
Yeah.
So I was actually using it a lot for doing base priming and base just spray painting.
Yeah. No, I need to build an event. Probably go back and watch Bill's video.
Yeah, actually, as part of what I did is I looked at his video for his little portable air booth, and I was like, wait a minute, I can find a good motor for that.
Yeah.
So it was a fun little project.
Now I'll probably I'll probably just rearrange in my shop a little bit to put. Cause I gotta like position it because like make sure that one of my garage door can still open.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. See, for when I get my shop in the new house set up, I don't care if that thing opens ever again. Like at that point, I've taken over the entire space. If it doesn't open, all the better.
Well, because like I got like half my shop is my shop, the other half so we got tools and stuff, and motorcycles, so we gotta be able to open it up to get those out, and get to the tools, and
I don't
fix
have
cars.
that problem.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah, I'd say we got enough. At least in this new house, one of the nice things is that we had like enough parking for just about anybody who wanted to show up at the house and have a giant freaking LAN party if I wanted to, and have enough parking. So it's nice.
But yeah, I'd like to get a new shop set up to where like I have my streaming bench area.
Yeah.
But also like have a spot where I can have like a shelves for like 3D printers, so I can have it like build an enclosure, so I can be printing in ABS or PTG or whatever I need to, and have a vent set up like go up right directly outside. Yeah. Because right now like I print in PLA. Yeah. And that's in my bedroom, and I have that going while I'm sleeping. I'm pretty sure it's probably not good for you still, but a lot better than ABS.
They say it's not terrible, but it's definitely a lot better than like printing in ABS.
I suppose also. Like I want to print in some ABS because I want to experiment with vapor baths and
I tried very briefly when I had one of the machines like not vented but at least in a place where I wasn't worried about gas buildup, and I could not for the life of me get ABS to stick to the build plate. And this is with a Prusa, a Mark III. I just could not print with ABS to save my life, so I kind of wrote it off for another day when I had more time to torture myself.
Yeah, especially, unless you want to, like, save up the money and buy a fucking resin printer so you never have to clean anything up ever again.
I was talking with somebody who's a UK builder, and he was showing me, resin printing, and just, on the one hand, it takes some post-processing, which wasn't the bad part, but what he was showing me is like, yes, post-processing, you were kind of misled. It's not that terrible. However, it is messy as hell.
I would imagine, because when I'm doing my prints, because like I showed you that Vindicator, like that was just a quick note. Like I printed it out, I put it together, I slathered that fucking thing in automotive filler primer and wet sanded it, just to get it done and quick. But I'll start off with a print. I'll go 220 to 320 to 400. Then I'll do an automotive filler primer, then wet sand 400. Yeah. So it's smooth as fuck. Yeah. But it's like I want to kind of cut down the time I spend on 3D prints. Yeah. It's because it's like the reason why I bought a 3D printer is to cut down on fabrication. Yeah.
I say, well, with mine, I mean, it all depends on where you want to put the time. Like with the two machines that I'm running right now for the business, I typically will have them most times out of the day printing at like 0.2 millimeter layer height. Yeah. What I get from 0.05 is gorgeous, but it takes like 3 years to print a small piece. It is so worth doing it, but at the same time, it's time intensive. Yeah, I had somebody buy a kit from me that was like 0.05 millimeter layer height, and it was gorgeous kit. I almost kind of didn't want to had to ship it, but at the same time, it took almost an entire week to print that kit.
Yeah, I printed at 0.06 millimeter layer height at 20 to 25% infill, and when I first started out, that was working perfectly. I had no problems, but then again, like because I use Cura, Ultimate Cura.
Okay, you use Cura, yeah.
After that updated, I started getting problems with the splitting and stuff. So I got to go through and figure some stuff out.
Yeah, Kira, I found Kira to be a bit of an interesting beast. Again, Prusa has their own. I mean, they go through slicer, slicker, however you want to stick the R, however you want to pronounce it. Everybody does it different.
One of those words.
Yeah, one of them. But they base off of that. Now it's Prusa Slicer, and their software. I'll give this to the company. They make sure that it works. If they're quick to patch something, and it's kind of they're definitely going for that market of. It's an inexpensive printer, but it's one that works right out of the box.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why I picked up a couple of them. I wish they had U.S. distribution because, man, the shipping is a bit painful from Prague, but the machines themselves are worth it.
Yeah, because I got an Ender 3 that I got off Amazon. And when I got it, I put it all together, when I started to go to print, and it would not... the filament would not extrude. The stepper motor of the filament would feed through the little gear that catches it and pushes it through.
Yeah.
It would click one, click back one, click one, click back one.
Ugh.
So I had a bad piece. So I had to take it all apart, put it back, send it back, and get a new one. And then that one, what I have now was working. It was working fine. I'm starting to get some weird troubleshooting stuff with it, but
yeah. I mean, well, so long as it's like a profile thing, like a Kira profile thing, and not an actual physical issue with the machine, that's not too bad.
No, I gotta figure out.
It's that troubleshooting time.
Yeah, it's one of those things I'm gonna be doing when I do get back from Dragon Con.
Yeah.
I'm part of an Ender 3 group on Facebook. They share mods or advice and stuff, so I'm gonna go through. Because I took a picture, how can I fix this? And one guy was like, bed positioning, or height position from extruder to bed.
Mm-hmm.
It was I take a piece of cardstock, I fold that in half, and that's how I gauge how to level my my bed. Because I got a 1/4-inch piece of glass.
Oh yeah, you're printing off glass.
Right. Yeah, because that little plate they send you, the floppy plate with the texture on it, and just wasn't happening.
Oh man, so I love the removable plates on the Prusa 3. That is a godsend. The powder coating on that is just, I mean, everything comes off of it. I even printed this is for the Airman build. I was doing translucent PETG, and even that, it hot temp bed temp, but when it's time to pop it off, comes right off, doesn't damage the bed. It was glorious. Yeah. And I know that PETG can it will eat glass. It'll fuse with glass.
Weird.
It can be. It is PETG is a great thing to use, but it's very persnickety. In that you can't print off of glass. Last time I checked, or if you do, you have to kind of
put something down
on top of it.
Yeah, I put to keep adhesion because I'm having adhesion problems now too. But I'm also trying to print barrels.
Okay.
Or small cylinder stuff. It keeps getting knocked off.
Okay.
So I take I'll make sure I clean the glass really good. Then I'll take this heavy stick hairspray and do a layer on that or two, and then put that on the bed, let it heat up.
I see. If you're having bed adhesion issues and you're not going at full with a big brim or something like that,
I do brims.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. I say. I know that Joel Telling, a 3D printing nerd, he was using some what was it, bed goo or something like that. He had something on some of his videos that has been repping a little bit that looks really good for bed adhesion issues.
Yeah, if I keep having problems and I can't figure it out, or none of the group people I'm a part of, they can't help me out, I'll probably just send Joel a message I stupid, you fix please.
Right. I mean, the man is full of knowledge, and he's such a good guy in terms of distributing that knowledge out and helping people. So
yeah, it's always good having people in a community like that.
Yeah, I think that's why him and Bill click so well, is they both got the same kind of mentality about that. They're about building a community to get knowledge out there, as opposed to holding on to it. And...
Yeah. Me and Odin were talking about that the other day when we were recording. That how back in the day there used to be nobody would share anything.
Right.
Ted would tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Because Ted has been working in the industry forever.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, nobody used to share anything.
Right. It's all trade secrets because this is how I keep my job, because you have to come to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was telling you can go ask that guy. He'd be tell you no, but you come ask me. I'll tell you everything I do. Mm-hmm. Mainly because I like sharing my techniques, because you can take whatever part of my techniques that I use to help form your own.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about beginners coming in, learning from everybody, taking everything from that they watch, and they form their own form of working with things.
Yep.
Just like how I did when I started, and how you probably did the same.
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of glorious being able to step in, like, you know, when Harrison dropped his like first painting book. Like that was one of the things where I actually learned how to do like a blue barrel gradient for the heat.
Yeah.
Because I had done like a Nerf mod, and I needed some gradient there, and it was a godsend having books like that out and available. And of course, you know, Bill started dropping his foam smithing books, and of course Kamui, buy my books. Yeah. She started dropping hers, and you know, having all that information out there and having people form groups like the Prop Tarts. I mean,
yeah,
it's an amazing resource now, and of course it helps that, you know, we're not Hollywood. We're trying, we're making Hollywood quality stuff sometimes with some of these makers. But I mean, the thing is that we're not trying to make it a solid job that the industry can only come to you to make a xenomorph suit because you're the only person who knew the technique to make it glossy and black.
Now there's probably like,
you know,
100 people who can do that now.
Now, you know, you've got xenomorph communities, and you know, who I want to see your build. You're going to do like an actual, you know, alien from Alien 3. You actually want to do the dog one? Why would you do that? But here's all of my techniques. I'd love to see it, you know.
Yeah.
That's the great part about all these communities, is that, you know, it's about the enthusiasm. It's not about trying to get paid.
No, yeah, it is partly of that. You know, because we have friends who do work in the industry, like Gary Cowell, Beer Money Props. He's worked on several stuff. You know, like Orville and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And, you know, Frank. I don't know if do you know Frank Ippolito?
Yeah, I've met at Bolito a couple times when he's come to Dragon Con. Of course, you know, man's too busy to come to Dragon Con now. It seems,
I have yet to meet him, but I would like to.
He's a good dude. He came to one of the Prop Tart meetups, and he was just rocking a Ghostbusters, and you know, my wife just rolled right up to him. She's like, "I'm really looking forward. I want to do my own build," and the dude just starts waxing poetical about all the different things she could do, the different resources she can go to. That man is a really another community member who wants to see people succeed, and wants to see the cool stuff that they can do.
It's like I got friends that are direct friends with him. And like same thing with Adam Savage. It's like I'm just like one person away from making friends with all these people that I want to be friends with.
I want to go where the people are. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because I've been watching Frank and Adam Savage on Tested for forever now.
Yeah,
It's like now I'm making more friends in our fandom or in our like
community,
subset community of whatever, and it's like so close to having like my friends list complete, because like since I've been coming to Dragon Con, and since I've been making stuff and I've been meeting people, I've been meeting more people through people, and it's like I want to grow that wealth of pool of knowledge that I can draw from.
Yeah, I mean, networking isn't just about, you know, knowing somebody who you can, you know, talk to about you know, doing a job for somebody, or you know, possibly getting in on something. It's also about sharing that knowledge, knowing that you can go to somebody who's done this one particular technique and, you know, be like, hey, you mind letting me know what, you know, material you used when you tried to get this one particular polish, or, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, sort of same thing. Damn, excuse me. Excuse me, guys. I don't know how to breathe. But also the fact that, you know, somebody like messages me, because I'm one of those people draw knowledge from. It's like, if I don't know, I know somebody who does.
Right.
And that's one of the things, like, when somebody asks me, is like, hey, do you know how to do this particular thing? And I'm like, I kind of have an idea on it, but I know somebody who does.
Right. It's like, I might not have it 100%, but I know the expert.
Yeah. But like, go at, just send and shoot this dude a message, or shoot this girl a message, tell him that I sent you. Like tell him like you like he's the best, and whatever. Like if somebody asks me, how do you get super really nice shiny perfect props, I'm like, go ask Harrison.
That man's work is legendary.
I kind of hope he's in his Fallout stuff today, or I know he will be tomorrow, I think. for the Fallout shoot if he is doing that, because I want to hug his laser rifle. It's so pretty.
I saw him building that, and unfortunately, like, we all suffer from imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
And I saw his builds on that, and of course, like I was telling you earlier, I have a laser pistol kit that I had done, and spent some time on it, and just when you see something that gets put out to that quality, you have to stop that little voice in your head that says, don't stop trying, this is it, this is the bar, you'll never reach it. Just, you have to kind of pull back from that little voice who wants to, curb stomp you into never doing props again.
Yeah, super shiny stuff like Harrison does is just fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been watched his progress over the years and just like, it's so pretty.
Yeah, I have to say he was one of the main people to get me into prop building and costume making.
Yeah.
I had started following a Warhammer 40k cosplay group, Obscure's Crusade, and I was looking for resources because I wanted to do my own, and I come across his I think it was an Ultramarines bolter pistol.
Yeah.
And just even back when he was first just sharing his this is on a vlog, but your blog, thank you. We've gone so far past blogs that now all I see is vlogs.
Yeah, right.
He was doing his build
blogs?
Yeah. I feel so old now.
Yeah,
But he was doing his blogs for the different things that he was doing, and came across that build, and my eyes just did the Puss in Boots thing, or just super wide. Oh my god.
Yeah, that
like
that's everybody with anything Harrison makes.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I was because like Harrison's like the one person I run into the most at Dragon Con, because like last year's my first year, and he's the one person words that I ran into more than anybody. And I was like, hey Harrison, he's like, hey man, what's going on? I was like, why do you keep running into you? He was like, I'm just walking around, man. Why do you keep running into me? No, but we were talking yesterday, and I was like, yeah man, it was good to see you. It's like it was Wednesday when we got here. I was like, hey man, hey Harrison, how's it going? It's good to see you, man. And I started talking to him. I was like, because I've been messing around with that graphite technique.
Yeah.
Bill and Eric did, and I've been cornering my technique down.
Yeah. And
he's like, yeah, Harrison's like, yeah, I was doing like 5 years ago.
little shade towards Core Geek there.
I was like, thanks, Harrison. That makes me feel great. Now Harrison's a good guy.
No, he is. Yeah.
I'm going to have him on here hopefully sometime soon. Because we were talking, he was like, we were talking about Bill, and we talked about Eric and everybody, and it was like, he's like, yeah man, I got these build logs. I think people are just going back and seeing what they can make videos on nowadays. I was like, hey man,
I say as long as they give you credit.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Like,
I'd say eventually though, that's the inevitability when you're like the grandpapa of freaking prop building.
Yeah, when everybody starts making videos on everything that everybody's already done. Like I was talking to Odin because I'm gonna try to make a video on a Mjolnir Thorhammer tutorial using graphite on foam. And he's like, Odin was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be revisiting that too, but like the comic Stormbreaker or something like that, or something. But like, we were out with lunch with Mick Thor. Have you seen him running around? No, last year he was Thor, but he was McDonald's Thor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were having lunch with him and one other person, and Odin and me. And I was like, yeah, man, you know what you should do? You should just do videos on all the Thor core hammers. You'll never run out of stuff to make. That'll be your videos for the next 3 years.
Yeah, so you wouldn't definitely run out of any material there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, don't do that. You'll lose all your subscribers. It's like, hi, I'm making another Thor hammer.
I say that's when you do the trendy thing now. You just make another YouTube channel.
Right.
This is Odin makes Thor hammers.
Have you got any chance to talk with Odin?
I have a little bit. I got some time with him down on the floor, and when we had the Prop Tarts meetup, he was a super cool dude.
Yeah, he is super good. I ran into I met him Wednesday because we have a mutual friend that it was like convinced him to come down or come over to Dragon Con.
Yeah, because this is his first.
This is his first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, Odin! And like we started talking, and like we've been hanging out all weekend.
It's awesome.
Yeah, last night he was Krieger from what was that?
Archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
Then he was Kevin Smith.
Oh, nice.
I was like, this is fucking perfect. We were sitting down, recording in his hotel room. He had both the Infinity Gauntlet and the Nano Gauntlet. I was like, dude, if you don't put these on and double fist these sometime this weekend, I'm gonna be really upset.
Dance monkey.
But he's like, did you just ask me to double fist something? And I'm like, yes, I did.
It's terrible.
Owen's a good dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, like, kind of bummed out that Core Geek isn't here.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Core Geek couldn't come. Evil Ted. I was a little bummed about that.
I have yet to meet Ted. I've actually interviewed Ted.
Yeah.
And we were having so many technical issues trying to get Skype to work, to work. We ended up going through Facebook Messenger, and the audio was really bad.
Oh wow!
So I got like 30 minutes of an interview with Ted before like the call got dropped.
Oh, that's
I was like, hey, we'll just do this again. So I've still got the audio. It's going to be my unreleased episode with Evil Ted.
Gotcha.
I think it was supposed to be episode. I don't remember what it was.
I say my first encounter with Ted. My first, there was an encounter and then encounter 1.5. Encounter 1 was, hey, you're Evil Ted Smith. He's, already drinking at his first Dragon Con. It was great, and we're having a good time. And he's like, okay, let's get a selfie together. And of course, I have my kitschy, and I say kitschy, I mean it was terrible. My Infinity beer helmet. It was basically just, your typical crappy beer helmet, with like a bunch of gems that I had made because I had done an actual Infinity Gauntlet that year, comic book style, not movie style. We go back for the selfie, and I lean back, and this fucking beer helmet just gets beer all over it. I'm like apologizing profusely. He's like, "No, it's fine, it's okay." And then he comes back around with that damn alien egg. Did you?
Yeah, I saw the alien egg.
Yeah, did you actually experience the alien egg, though?
No, I did not.
That asshole had his hand in the freaking egg.
Oh, yeah.
Was walking around, and it just... If you weren't paying attention, you didn't see that it was just a... Yeah,
you thought he was holding it.
And he's like, oh, how you doing? Oh, it's an awesome egg. And I didn't even get through the freaking full sentence when he had his hand on my face. And my wife nearly had to catch me. I almost lost my shit. Because the Alien series, I love that series of movies. But it is one of the things that, terrifies me. The concept of a xenomorph fucking terrifies me. And this bastard put his goddamn face hugger hand on my face. And I lost my shit. I nearly fell over. And of course, he's laughing like a motherfucker, and I'm just trying to recover. Everybody around me is laughing. And then finally, by the time I realize what has happened, I'm starting to laugh profusely, because I just got punked by fucking Evil Ted.
Oh, that's fucking perfect.
Oh, it was glorious. It worked just how he wanted it to.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I would have been there for that.
I'm glad not as many people were around for
God.
that. It was something else.
I would have high-fived him when I saw it.
Fuck you.
I was like, hey, man, remember what you did the DapperWay cosplay? That's fantastic. I need a high-five. Now I messaged. Ted was on stream. Or no, it wasn't on stream. He was commented on one of my stuff and was like about Dragon Con. I was like, hey man, are you gonna be here? And he's like, no, I can't make it again this year. He's like, man, it sucks. Like, I'm never gonna meet you, dude.
Yeah.
But we've interviewed him. We've gone back and forth a few times. Like, oh, dude, I can say he is a friend. Mm-hmm. It's like as friendly as you can be as an acquaintance.
Yeah.
Like that. But mostly everybody in our community is like we're all acquaintances, and like some of us are actually friends.
Yeah.
Because I know we've gone back and forth through the mod chat.
Yep.
And like dealing with the fun that is.
Oh yeah, like modding a community for the prop charts is great because there's lots of people, lots of enthusiasm, lots of information being shared, and the majority of them, because again of the community that Bill and Britt have built up, it's a lot of good people, and then sometimes there's always that one.
Yeah, and that one, which we won't say, does not like puns and memes on our page. Some are so fucking funny too.
They are,
the best ones.
I say it's nice to have things that aren't. Like, I just broke my prop. How do I fix it? Please help community. And instead you get a good meme about oh, this is my foam, and it's a fucking actual piece of of an actual like Pop-Tart, or something, or I've got my new build for San Diego Comic-Con, and they have patched something up with a ramen block or something, like
right.
like it's those kind of memes help break things up, and
which is good. They're not bad.
No.
We haven't had any really bad issues in that group.
No, it's again because
we've had a few bad eggs. Had to deal with messages and stuff.
But I mean it's honestly been few and far between.
Yeah.
And again, that's again exactly because of how Bill and Britt built up their community. With their videos, and then for the short time that they were on Twitch, it just they had a good community.
Yeah, I've been with the community since they were on YouTube, all that time ago.
Yep.
I was like, damn, so much. They're beasts. They do so much stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, they are truly on. I was surprised at how quickly Bill got his marine armor, his kind of generic space marine armor that he got with the hand done this year. We're in the hall. I was in my Aeromed, and they come up. We're getting some pictures taken. He does the fist thing because, of course, now we got two good looking armors together, and people are starting to gather together. He's like, "I'm vaping you," and I'm kind of getting little vapes from underneath my mask. I'm just like laughing because I know exactly what he's doing. He's done this, and then he's like waved it around because the thing produces a lovely amount of vape cloud.
Yeah.
Because he got one of those Cos Clouds builds.
Oh yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah, I haven't really thought of anything I could use for stuff like that. Maybe if I do like a big gun at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Cause there's this the Prop Tarts meetup. There's this girl carrying on that big Gatling laser.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if she had like one of those Cos Clouds in there after it got done spinning.
Just to kind of vent out the smoke
comes up from it. Like that would be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Also, she's like, I showed her my shish kebab because I was in my 76 stuff, and she's like, "Oh my god, I love this! I will trade you." And I was like, "Don't you fucking tempt me?"
No backsies.
It's like, I will take it and I'll give you my shish kebab. I can always make another one of those, but I probably will never make one of these.
I say, you will never get this Gatling laser back. It'll be mine.
Yeah.
And it was a good build.
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic build. I was like told her, man, I'm super fucking impressed with this thing. Yeah. I was like kind of jealous,
right? Because it wasn't just a Gatling laser in form, but in function as well. The damn thing spun. It's nothing's better than when somebody takes it the extra mile and like throws a vape kit into it, or gets some lights in there, or makes it spin like it does in the game.
It spins and it has lights in it.
Okay, so it had the lights too. I didn't see the lights, but
if she asked me again, and she's like super serious, like I'm going to. Because I will put that in my armory with the rest of my Fallout stuff.
Right.
And God, I'll probably see her again on Sunday.
Oh, I'm sure.
At the Fallout shoot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I want to go pew pew.
Say you don't make something that glorious and not show it off at Dragon Con. That's got to happen.
Yeah. Her costume was really good too. She had a pack raider cosplay. It was like had the teddy bears and everything all strapped on her with the armor and shit.
Modulus has some armor that he's going to be busting out this year, or did he not get to Dragon Con?
I don't know. Wait. Yeah, I think Nick is doing that.
Yeah.
But he said he might be doing it tonight instead of tomorrow.
Okay.
Because he said like the makeup, and I was like, just don't put the makeup on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because a raider could have taken a bath. You don't know.
Yeah. I'll be in my Advocats here later, right? And walk around with all my gear on and my shish kebab,
right?
And I'm gonna take some collodion and I'm gonna be putting it all over my face and shit, and get some scars going. But then tomorrow I'll probably just, depending on if it's still on there, I may do one or two, but I'm like, I don't really need to put all that back on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll be sure. Well, the point of this podcast is to get the origin and the inspiration of why you make things. So, in the brief time what we do have left, what got you into making?
Honestly, I started off as kind of a Warhammer 40k nerd, and I came to my first Dragon Con, and basically I saw this group of Warhammer 40k people marching in the parade here. First of all, I didn't know you could come to a con that had its own parade that was the largest in a fucking city like this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Dragon Con. This is a parade. It is the largest that this city has. And I see all of these Sisters of Battle and tech priests and, you know, just inquisitors and just this full group of people with, you know, foam armor and great stuff. And I looked at my best friend who was sitting with me at the time, and I'm like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I absolutely gotta do this. So, you know, I did the same thing that we all do. I made my first, you know, world's shittiest costume that, you know, I share as my don't ever do this because it's terrible picture. And yeah, I had a blast. You know, I actually marched in the parade my second year at con and was hot and sweaty and terrible. And I think I did it with a smile on my face the whole time. And that just was a roller coaster. I just hit that peak and just took off. Yeah. So it's been nothing but, you know, building props and, you know, designing stuff since.
Yeah, man. You know, as long as there's a point where you're crying in the shower because you can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it right.
I say we all hit that point. We all hit that point. I will probably hit that point tonight when I get into my armor again, because I wore it yesterday for at least, I think I got close to the 3-hour mark, and I hit a certain point where my brain just ticked over and it was just nope. So I look at my handler and I'm like, I'm done. They just started pulling stuff off because
I hit a note point last year in my Ranger armor.
I bet,
because like I said, it's all leather, it's all hand punched, and like if I put it on, there's a back piece that snaps. It's like a solid leather thing, and it snaps on the sides, and I got little loops that I have to, as I'm putting my belt on for my pants, I have to loop the armor loops through my pant loops with the belt, and I'm in it. Yeah. Then I put the duster on. Then I snap the little pack onto my back with the hose and everything. Then I got leather gauntlets that snap on. I'm in that thing. And I put that on here. I have like a bottom of a balaclava that I have around my neck, so when I have the helmet on, you can't see my fat neck. And like I went from this hotel where we're at now up to the Marriott, up to the 10th floor, to the Prop Tart meetup. And
you were dead.
I was dead. I was already dead when I walked outside. I hit that heat. And by the time I got up there, I introduced myself to Bill and Brittany, and I was talking to them for a minute. Then walking around talking to a few people, I saw the TNT people, said hi to them. Then I was like, because my apprentice was with me, and I was like, it's like at that point it's been in it for about 2 hours. It's like, I'm dying. I gotta go. And you know, as it is, getting to the elevators in the Marriott, getting down, getting through that crowd, getting over the sky bridges, to the Hyatt, so I can get outside to come down here, because that's the only way I knew how to get there. Because it's like the first time I've ever been in Atlanta. So I was like, oh my god. So I kind of just went to the front desk of the Hyatt. I just kind of just leaned against it because there's nobody standing there. I was just leaning and just like catching my breath. And I was like, I'm dying.
Can't die here. Must make it 3 more blocks. Must
And then like the girls, the lady walked up to me. Was like, hey, you need anything? I was like, no, I'm just dying. And I just want to stand here for a second. I was like, she's like, okay, it's so good. It's like, thanks. I can move, but I just needed some rest for a second. So I kind of just got up and just like, kind of moved around for a second. And then it was like. I'm 15 minutes from my hotel room. Slowly. I'm just going to walk my happy ass down to my hotel room, strip it all off, fucking got into the shower, got back out. I was like, oh, I feel good now.
So you got into the shower, did your cry, had your little cry. It's just like, okay, well, there's a lot more Dragon Con that we got to experience.
I was like, why do I hate myself? What did I do? I know you got to go here soon, but one thing is I try to do. What advice would you give somebody who's new or looking to get into doing what we do?
Good advice. Honestly, the advice that I try to give myself anytime, like I was talking about with like Harrison's work, do not give up when you see somebody's work that is better than what you're doing. Instead, remember that is basically their journey that you're looking at. That is their hard-earned time of putting in the hours, of learning techniques, of failing incredible amounts to come up with something that looks miraculous, and to remember that you can do that too. You can put in the time, but that's what you have to do. You have to put in the time. No one is infinitely skilled to just kind of break out an amazing prop or costume out of nowhere. You have to put in your time.
Yeah. Yeah, it also doesn't hurt, also ask questions from a different community, people from me to you to Evil Ted to Bill and Bert from Punish Props, or to if you can get a hold of Harrison.
Yeah, if.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a little bit of a shorter episode today. Hopefully we'll be back soon with another guest at Dragon Con. Hopefully maybe 2 more, 3 more if I'm lucky. I like to get as much blasted out this week if I can.
Yeah, do it as much as you can.
Yeah, because when I'm at work and I'm like home life is like I try to schedule things and it's like I work weird hours and the people I want to bring on they work weird hours. So I was like, oh, like I know that everybody I want to interview is actually here this weekend.
Yep.
I want to try to get in as many as I can.
Catch them while you can.
Yeah, I catch them all. It's like the Pokemon's prop maker edition. But thanks so much for listening to episode 14 at Dragon Con of the Origin Maker podcast. And I will have links and all the descriptions of where you can find DapperWay Cosplay, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, if he has got a website or whatnot.
Yep.
I don't know. I'll ask him. But I will catch you guys next time. I hope you have a good one. Later.